BMW had decided to remind us that they're still around in a pretty impressive way, as you can see from this picture. I'll explain right now. Taking over the world, electrifying the world, E4 Electric! Welcome to E4 Electric, your number one source of unbiased electric car news. If this is your first time here, go ahead and smash that subscribe button down there so you don't miss anything moving forward, but most importantly, become a part of this community. All right, so I know we haven't talked about BMW in a while. Well, they have been kind of quiet after this whole iNext hoopla, has ended a few weeks ago, actually a few months ago. Really haven't heard much, but they have now decided to kind of come up with this a bunch of pictures and videos and stuff like that that are pretty impressive, and they are testing all three of their upcoming electric cars in Sweden, and this is winter testing, so that means that a lot of the parts of the car, a lot of the technology is there, and they're testing it, and it doesn't mean it's final testing. A lot of times as a result of the testing, they end up adjusting things and adding things and so forth. By the way, I don't know what that thing was with the hands, but interesting. They put a lot of effort into this video, so you'll see. And these are all three cars, and this is the BMW iX3, and then the i4 and iNext. And the let's talk about them in one by one. There's tons of videos that are just kind of thrown our way. Now, the first one is the BMW iX3. Not really sure why they are kind of hiding it in camouflage, because they've already released a lot of pictures and this is what it's going to look like. But nevertheless, they're just put a little of camouflage for, I don't know, for the good measures. But here it is. Being tested, and there's no surprises as far as looks are concerned. I think that much like Audi and Mercedes and many other legacy manufacturers, they're just trying to make these electric BMWs look like BMWs, and I still think that's a very good strategy of basically smoothly transitioning people into basically cars that are just good cars. They just happen to be electric and therefore better. So I'm all for that. So this is the iX3. So this is the only one of those three that's actually going to be in production next year. And this one has a charge rate up to 150 kilowatts, which is great, especially for the car that's supposedly be in, around $40,000. At least that's kind of expected price. And this one's going to be made in China, 100% for the entire world. So that's actually interesting. The EPA rated range, I would expect about 220, maybe 230 miles. So that's I would say not bad again for the price range. And just like I said, it's coming out next year. So that's as far as this one concerned. This one's the closest. Again, this would be the first one after the i3. That's really the second, if you will, electric car produced by BMW. All right, let's move on to the next one. Before that, let me quickly remind you that this video and this channel is sponsored by the Accelerate Auto, the extended third-party warranty for all electric cars, including Tesla Model 3, up to 125,000 mile coverage, only $100 deductibles. And if you dig into the description of this video, you will find that you will have a $100 present from them to you guys. Go ahead and apply. Depending on your state, use the appropriate link, and I hope you enjoy their service. Okay, so the next one we're going to be talking about is iNext. Once again, camouflaged, and we've seen it camouflaged before, which I don't quite understand, because we kind of know what it looks like, because they've not only showed us pictures, but shown us the prototypes a few times. I've seen this one. Again, way too advanced, like as far as like way too weird inside and stuff like that. I'm sure that will be updated. I don't like the monkey front butt also, but as we saw in the last time, and then probably you can now see it here, the car looks a little different. It definitely looks different. They've updated some of the features. They smoothed out some of the curves. So I kind of expected that to look like maybe an X5 or something like that. As you can see, it definitely looks a lot different than the concept car that they shown us only a few months ago. I think it was September when they first unveiled it. I remember they were kind of having a world tour where they were put it on a plane, cargo plane, and showed us all the car. We couldn't take photos. It was fun, but it was a little weird. All right, so the third car is i4, also coming out in 2021. There are not that many stats on these other ones, right? And to be honest with you, I think they might have just not figured those out yet either. One at a time, but nevertheless, again, if they're testing, if they're winter testing it, that means that there's something already there. Now, by the way, let me just, before I go to the video, this is what the drawing, sort of a rendering of it looks like, and that's a good looking car. Like this is a car I would buy. I mean, I really like that. The monkey butt doesn't look that bad on the front of this one. I feel like it's actually not bad, but again, looks like they're moving forward, and this also means that they figured out their batteries, right? With an i3 being updated last time, I think it didn't even get to 150 miles, or maybe they did, but it's just definitely not catching up. So it looks like this is the next generation technology. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's CATL, but I don't even think they're releasing the name of their battery manufacturer. From my conversation, I remember back in September, is that they will be giving sort of the recipe to whatever the battery suppliers they're going to use. And the battery suppliers will use it, but it's going to be specifically BMW recipe. They were really weird about talking about it, so I didn't really push. So that was kind of my impression of what they're trying to do here. So, all right, let's talk about positives and negatives of this story. All right, so of course the positives is that BMW is really kind of lagging behind everybody, and if they were coming up with just one car, it would be really behind everybody. But if they now really have like three of them ready to go within a couple of years, I think then they got something, right? And again, I think the publicity thing is good. I think they haven't done enough of that. They haven't raised as much buzz as they could have. So showing these videos, I think it's actually a good thing, reminding us that they're still there, telling us that they're closer to the production than they might have thought or even forgot when they were supposed to be going to production. Right now, it's kind of back on our radars. Of course, I would like to see more. I would like them to start bringing them to auto shows and letting journalists drive them and get a closer look and so forth, and maybe more precise stats about the i4 and the iNext. And definitely, I would like them to redo the iNext interior. I don't think anybody liked that kind of a IKEA style luxury car. But again, we'll see what they're going to do with that. Now, the negatives, of course, that they're still behind, right? The Audi and Mercedes, they're all ahead. Their cars, Audi's cars in the production, Mercedes cars going to production later this year, Porsche's cars going to production later this year. So they're definitely, kind of lagging behind. And now, if they can really pull this off, they might just get themselves even with definitely maybe Mercedes for sure, and even with Audi. Though Audi is really running away with the whole prize, I think, as far as legacy manufacturers are concerned. All right, let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think of these cars? Are any of these cars something that appeal to you? Do you think you would still wait for a BMW, or maybe just go with some other manufacturer, including the Teslas, right? But now there are other luxury manufacturers out there. Or do you think people will actually patiently wait for this car? I'm looking forward to kind of getting some feedback, because we haven't gotten that much feedback about BMW cars just because we haven't featured them. And by the way, let me give a quick shout out to Kirivan Yam, one of my newer Patreons. Thank you so much, Kirivan, for joining my Patreon community, the only place where you can watch me live. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for supporting and contributing to my show. I'm a full-time YouTuber, so I definitely appreciate that, and I appreciate my Patreon community. If you want to join, boom, patreon.com/e4electric. There's also a link in the description of this video. Hopefully, I will see you guys there live. All right, looking forward to the comment section. Other than that, see you next time, and remember to stay charged.